everyone, Cola with GROWGRNS.com. Today with another exciting episode for you. Today I'm in my garden and I'm gonna basically freshly inaugurate my new hose bib. So I got a new hose bib when we put in the irrigation system for the aquajet side of the yard. And I really haven't used it until now because there was a big tree over here and it's kind of in the way. But now I've cleared out that tree and now I'm ready to basically hook this hose bib up. Now, I'm going to give you some recommendations in this video, and as you guys know, longtime viewers, you guys know that my favorite hose has been the Craftsman rubber hose. So, I do not recommend you guys use the PVC polyvinyl chloride hoses. Like, they stink, they smell, they release some toxins into the water, especially on a hot day. And in California, there's a Prop 65, which is basically, a Prop 65 is, for those of you guys that aren't in California, anything that may cause cancer has to have a Prop 65 warning label on it. So if you go to a gas station in California, there'll be a Prop 65 warning on the gas pump that says, warning, this may cause cancer and whatnot, They already have that for cigarettes, and I wish other states should start doing this because, the PVC hoses have that cancer warning on there. So, definitely not good to drink out of it. But more importantly, I want to teach you guys the best of what I know, and the best of what I did know was this rubber hose, because this standard rubber hose is, much more durable, much more long-lasting than the PVC hoses. In addition, if you buy from Sears like I did here, it actually has nice stainless steel fittings here, nice and durable. And this hose is nice and heavy, and it has a lifetime warranty. I want to encourage you guys to buy things that have a good warranty, but as much as I like the Craftsman hose, it actually kind of smells a little bit, and this has been off-gassing for a while. Some of the challenges that I found with this guy is that it's really heavy to drag along the garden, and another thing that I find is actually it kinks quite frequently. I have long 100-foot hose runs, and it'll kink up, and I'll have to stop watering and then find the kink, unkink it, and then water again. So I want to share with you guys a new hose that I found that's, blows away my favorite existing hose, the Craftsman all rubber hose. Before we even get to the hose, something that I believe every organic gardener should have in their garden, even if you're not growing organic, I believe you guys should have a filter for your hose bib that you're going to water your garden. Most Americans out there drink some kind of filtered water, like bottled water, and I'm not a big fan of bottled water. I think it's, shipping around water in plastic is a nuisance, literally. I do drink bottled water when I'm staying at hotels and I can't get some, purified water. But at my house, I have a whole house filtration system plus point of use filters for my shower and both my drinking water in my kitchen, because I don't want to, take in toxins that are in the water, whether that's, different kind of drugs or, heavy metals or, things like chlorine and even worse, fluoride. I don't want to put that in my body. I don't want to shower with that, either. And so for this reason, I recommend also, if you guys are drinking filtered water, why not filter the water for your plants? So many of you guys know that I've had an episode before about this guy. This is the Boogie blue water filter. And this is my favorite low-cost water filter. I've tested a few other ones out there, and some of them have really low gallon, maximum gallons that it could filter. This actually has a nice large number, and I find that these work very well in my garden. If you're looking to buy one of these, check that link below. But we're not going to talk about the Boogie Blue filter. I've learned of a better filter out there, and actually I made a video at the manufacturing facility in America where they make the filter, and I'll put a link also to that video down below. And what that is, that's the Green Knight water filter. And the Green Knight water filter, basically it's similar to the Boogie Blue. It actually has the KDF material in there, but in addition to the KDF, it also has some quartz crystals and KDF 73, which is actually not in the Boogie Blue, so you're going to get a probably better filtration. And in addition, the quartz crystals may enliven the water and make your plants go crazy. So, I'm always out there looking for new products to share with you guys, like to take you up the next level, Because I just look at it like this, right? I try to treat my body the best. I try to eat the healthiest foods, homegrown foods, fruits and vegetables and all this stuff. But I also want to treat my fruits and vegetables the best, because just making a small incremental change, feeding them chlorine-free water, what if you get another 1% or 2% yield? I mean, minimally. What if you get 10% more yield, because now you're filtering your water, you know, and now you have more food that you're growing in your small residential lot, you know, than you would if you didn't filter your water. Plus, it's just better for the microbiology, you know, of the soil. Beneficial microbes may be wiped out with the chlorine, you know, in standard city waters. Now, the filters that I'm talking about are for people on a city water. You know, these are not if you have hard water or anything like that. You're gonna have to look at some other kind of filtration. This is for people that are on city water that want to get, you know, the chlorine out and, you know, some of the other contaminants in there. So yeah, the Green Knight is just one of the filters that the Rainshower company makes. And this is the one I'm going to be using. This is made for hydroponics use. So this does not have replaceable cartridges. This filter will last, depending on how much you water, about a year. Because I have 2 bibs on my house in the backyard. I have one on this side, one on the other side. You know, this should easily last a year for me. And in addition, you can actually extend the life of your filter here, and let me go ahead and explain how to do that for you guys. So this is actually a sealed unit, so once you're done you have to chuck it. With these guys, Boogie Brew Company does take them back and gives you credit because they will recycle them. On these guys you pretty much just have to chuck them you know, when you're done, which is kind of a waste. They're one step down from the Green Knight, which is the Garden Grow Filter. It does have a removable end cap, and you can replace the cartridges inside, which I think is a lot better design. But it doesn't have the KDF 73 as well as the crystals in there. And the cool video down below shows more about that. This also does have a water restrictor in here, basically to slow down the flow of the water. Now what this does, this is a pro and a con. It's a pro because it slows down the water going through the filter, which means the water will have more contact time with the filter media, so you'll get a cleaner water, you know. The negative is the water's not going to come out the hose as fast, you know, so you're going to have to take a little bit longer to water things. But I'm alright with that. But anyways, to extend the life of this filter, because this filter could pretty much go indefinitely just filtering out the chlorine and whatnot, the problem is any kind of particulate that may get into this filter will clog it up, and then it's going to stop working. So what the Rainshower company makes is this. This is the Garden Grow PreFilter with Hose Saver. So in here, what we have is a little pre-filter here, and this is to take all the fine particulate sediment out. And let's see if we can just undo this. And if you guys can see, we just have like a nice stainless steel fine mesh sieve. So this is also good to, you know, put if you're using some kind of drip irrigation, because no particles can get through there to clog up your drip emitters. So I like this. So basically we're just going to go ahead and put this in line with the hose. It's going to come out of here, go into here, go through here, and then it's going to go into the filter, and then we're going to go into the hose. So let me go ahead and show you guys how easy that is to set up. Alright, so first we're just going to go ahead and take this little feeder hose here and screw that on to our hose bib. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and take our pre-filter, and it says inlet hose bib. So this is the direction, and we're going to go ahead and screw that guy in there. And then on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the next hose and screw that on. We got a bunch of hoses, man. You hoser! Alright, and then out this side of the hose, we will finally be able to put our Green Knight shower filter. And once again, you gotta pay attention to the direction, like the directional tires on some high performance cars. The water is gonna only flow one direction, or it's not gonna filter properly. So this is the water inlet over on this side, and we're simply gonna go ahead and screw this baby in. Alright, so we got all that screwed in, and this is kind of contorted, man, all these different things. So once again, comes out of the hose bib, goes through this hose, goes through the pre-filter, then goes into the Rainshower Green Knight hydroponic filter. This is probably not necessary for most gardens, right? I just want to see how this works, and I know this has better filtration, and I'm cool with that. And so now the next thing we're going to need to do is actually put on a hose, and I'm not using that Craftsman hose, I'm using a better hose. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm going to use today. What I'm going to use today is this hose right here. This is actually called the Everlastic Flat to Round Clear Flow Garden Hose. This is 5/8 of an inch, and the reason why I like this hose is for a few things. Number one, it's made out of one of my favorite materials that I have fun in the bedroom with. Yes, you heard that right, actually. This hose is made out of polyurethane. You know, I made the commitment to get away from rubber condoms in the bedroom because they're irritating to both me and my girlfriend. Maybe that's TMI. So what we've gone with instead is we've gone with the Sagami Original. These babies are from Japan. They make .001 condoms. These are actually the 002s because the 001s are quite expensive. These are the thinnest condoms, and they're made out of polyurethane, and that's just how strong they are, right? So polyurethane, I don't get any kind of like weird allergic latex reactions, and neither does my girlfriend, and plus this feels really good too. Well, that's too much. Anyways, so yeah, the condoms are polyurethane, super strong. And that's what this hose is made out of too. It's made out of polyurethane. This hose is completely recyclable. It's NSF certified for a water safe hose. So if you have like an RV, this is the hose you're going to want to use. It also compacts down. I mean, right here, what I have here is a 100-foot hose, and here's the Craftsman 50-foot hose. I mean, it's a lot bigger. This is twice as long as this guy, and this guy is at least twice as heavy. Totally amazing. Now, I do like the stainless steel fittings on the rubber hose by Craftsman, but this actually has some nylon fittings, you know, that are super strong. And then one of the things I like about this hose is that actually this hose is made with the fittings on the end, so that actually you can remove them and put them back in should you, spring a leak or damage the hose, which, this thing is super strong, super indestructible. So this is a water-safe drinking hose, and if you look, there's not too many water-safe drinking hoses out there. In addition, one of the things I've loved as a kid is like when you got a straw and you put it in like a soda and you see the soda come up the straw. I don't drink sodas anymore. Don't recommend you guys do it either, but in a juice, and then one of those curly straws that like the water or the juice or the whatever goes through the straw like a silly straw, and then you drink it. And so now you can see where the water's flowing, where it's at, and what's going on because this hose is clear, so I really like that. Plus, the added benefit of a clear hose is that the sunlight will hit the hose, and the UV in the sunlight will kill any kind of bacteria that may be in the water to some extent, So I like that a lot. Plus, because this is NSF certified, you won't get any kind of funky plastic taste, and if you smell this hose, it actually doesn't smell like anything. So, that's really cool. I like that a lot. I mean, this is also freeze proof to minus 10 degrees Celsius if you're up in Canada A and 14 degrees Fahrenheit. This hose was designed and engineered in Canada and made in the United States and Canada. So it's a US, Canadian, or North American made product. Really high quality, not like these cheap knockoff hoses from China and from overseas. And I want you guys to pay attention, and if a hose looks like this, make sure it says it's the Clear Flow and from a reputable dealer, because there are knockoffs, and this hose does not contain any lead, it does not contain any BPA. This is probably one of the healthiest hoses you could buy to drink out of. And actually, I'm gonna have cleaner water with this Green Night shower filter going through this hose than most people have at their kitchen tap, actually. But yeah, so that's why I really like this hose. It's gonna give me the cleanest water, not smell. Oh, and the other thing, it's anti-kink. It also stores flat. You could roll this up on one of those garden, hose reels or whatever. It stores flat, and it's significantly lighter. Like, man, when I'm dragging this hose all the way across the yard, I have to pull it all over. It's not going to kink, and it's going to be super light so that I can handle it. This may be particularly important, if you're a nice, beautiful young lady, or even if you're not beautiful. And, it's hard to handle this big, heavy Craftsman hose because I've had to do it so many times. I'm really looking forward to using this because it's going to be so much lighter. So next, let me go ahead and set this guy up and show you guys how it works. All right, so we got it out of the packaging, And let's see if we can find the end on here. Oh, here's the end right here. Comes with a nice little gasket in there. I mean, this hose looks like it'd be some kind of chintzy thing. But it's actually, wow, it's a little bit stretchable. It's actually kind of strong. I'm kind of impressed. So let's go ahead and just screw that guy in there. And let's see how it handles the pressure. We're going to go ahead and screw on basically my sprayer to water my garden with on the other end. And I like these because it has like a built-in, you know, a ball valve to flow control it. Screw that guy in there. All right, we're going to turn this on for the first time. Hopefully water comes out. Oh man, check it out. This hose is, you guys can't see it, but it's slowly expanding. It's kind of like at night when you get, you know, turned on by your woman. All right, slowly but surely it's growing. As you guys can see, some of the water bubbles coming out. The pressure's expanding, and this hose is getting a lot more, you know, rounded instead of flat. Wow, it's kind of cool, and this is really light, man. This is my dream, to have like a clear hose. I've always wanted to know what happens to the water when it's inside the hose, and if you got kids, this would be fun. You could actually see the air bubbles inside. So now I'm ready to water my garden with filtered water, thanks to the Green Knight, and also clean water and kink-free hose and a clear hose, thanks to the Clear Flow hose. I think I'm gonna go ahead and water my peppers now. All right, so we're watering pretty good. The flow rate is, you know, a little bit slower, probably slowed down due to the Green Knight filter there. This is working quite well, so you won't blast all the dirt out of the, you know, out of the raised bed or out of containers. It's going quite easily, and this hose is working quite well, as you guys can see, because the flow rate is greatly diminished. The hose is almost back to flat, but it's still actually flowing a fair bit of water. Let's go see how it is when I'm dragging this along. Wow, this is like the magic watering hose, because when I'm carrying this, it's like I'm not carrying anything at all. Now, you know, this will kink a little bit if you're not holding it with the other hand. See, check that out, right? Cuts off. So yeah, just kind of hold it, and yeah, this is working quite well. I'm so glad that I got this all set up on this side. This side of my yard is going to have actually even better filtered water than the other side. I really hope you guys enjoy this episode, learning about my brand new and what I consider the best water hose for gardening out there. You know, the least toxic. We want to try to move away from, you know, things like plastic and other things, and you go back to real made materials. But you know what? One of the sayings is plastic makes it possible, or in this instance, polyurethane makes it possible to water your garden and have the cleanest water and be able to drink out of your hose. If you got kids, you know, or pets or dogs or farm animals, you know, livestock, it'd probably be a good investment to get one of these hoses instead of feeding them the PVC water. You know, water out of a PVC hose, because after all, if you got animals, more than likely you're going to be eating either the animals, which is quite unfortunate, or, you know, taking the eggs, and, you know, the chicken or whatever you're growing is only good as the water it's drinking, and animals are biologic accumulators. So anytime you eat any animal, you're getting the lifetime supply of the toxins that the animal ate. So for this reason, you know, I think it's just easier just eat plants and not worry about the animals. But anyways, get this hose. It's going to save you and your animals from, and your plants from getting any kind of toxins. If you're interested in getting a discount, special GYG discount on this hose, check that link down below. I'll put a link down below to get you guys a special coupon. And if you're looking to get one of those nifty filters for the Boogie brew filter, you know, check out that link down below for the video, as well as the information on the filter itself, so that you guys could also have filtered water and use the best hose that I've ever found. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with GROWGRNS.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep on growing. All right, this is John Kohler with GROWGRNS.com. So we have another exciting episode for you, and I'm here at my girlfriend's house, actually. And many of you guys know that I helped her set up her very first garden, and it's sitting right next to me. This is known as the GROWGRNS 7 LED. We actually have 2 videos on that, so I'll post the links down